You've heard this one. Money stops buying happiness after $75,000 a year. It's on posters. It's in TED Talks. Your uncle said it at dinner. It comes from a real study by a Nobel Prize winner. And in 2023, that Nobel Prize winner sat down with the man who proved him wrong, and together, they found something worse than either version. Let me show you. In 2010, Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton published a paper on income and happiness. Kahneman is not a lightweight. He won the Nobel Prize in economics. He's the reason we talk about cognitive bias at all. And the finding was clean. Happiness rose with income, and then, somewhere around $75,000 a year, it flattened out. The internet took that number and ran with it for over a decade. You could stop climbing. The science said so. It was a comfortable finding. That should have been the first warning. Then, in 2021, a researcher named Matthew Killingsworth did something different. Kahneman's data asked people to remember how they'd felt. Killingsworth built an app that pinged people at random moments and asked how they felt right now. Over 1.5 million of those pings. More than 30,000 people. And he found no plateau. None. Happiness just kept climbing. Past 75. Past 100, as far as his data went. 2 respected researchers. Same question. Opposite answers. Now, here's the part I actually love, and it's the reason I wanted to make this video. Kahneman didn't attack him. He emailed him and proposed what's called an adversarial collaboration, which means, you think I'm wrong, I think you're wrong. Let's sit down with both datasets and a neutral referee and find out. They brought in a third psychologist, Barbara Mellers, to arbitrate. Think about how rare that is. A Nobel laureate at the end of his career, voluntarily sitting down to find out if his most quoted finding was wrong. The paper came out in 2023. And they were both right. About different people. Here's what they found. For most people, happiness keeps rising with income. Past 100,000. Past that. And for the happiest group, the relationship actually speeds up. So Killingsworth was right for most of us. But there's a group where the plateau is real. Roughly the least happy 20%. For them, happiness rises with income up to around 100,000, and then it stops. Flatline. So Kahneman was right too. For them. And the author's explanation of that flatline is the sentence I want you to sit with. They suggested it's the point where the remaining misery just isn't the kind money can fix. Heartbreak, grief, depression. Killingsworth said it more bluntly. If you're rich and miserable, more money won't help. So the real finding isn't money doesn't buy happiness. It's much more useful than that. Money is extremely good at removing one specific kind of suffering. The kind that comes from not having enough. Rent, debt, the bill you can't pay. It handles that category well, and there's nothing noble about pretending otherwise. What it cannot touch is a completely different category. And here's where the whole thing turns tragic. Huge numbers of people feel the second, kind of empty, and read it as the first kind of problem, so they earn more. And the emptiness doesn't move, so they conclude the number wasn't high enough. That's not a financial strategy. That's a category error running on a loop for 30 years. I have to say this part because most people who quote this research don't. All of it is correlational. Higher income is associated with higher happiness. That's not the same as proving that handing someone money makes them durably happier. And it runs both ways. Happier people often earn more in the first place. The researchers themselves are careful about this. The people quoting them usually aren't. So when someone tells you science has settled what you should do with your life, they're selling something. Next video, I want to look at the other study everyone gets wrong. The lottery winners one. You've heard that lottery winners and people paralyzed in accidents end up equally happy. I've read the paper. The numbers are public. They're not equally happy. It's not close. I'll show you.